Were you recording?
Which one?
Any of it?
It's always.
All of it.
Okay, great.
It's always.
I just want to make sure we didn't lose that pretzel bit because that shit was fucking good.
I'm just pulling up the Oscar nominations.
That's what happens when you do this whole casual start thing. Is that I'm like, am I getting this because that one was good? Can we?
Is that right?
No, but that's the magic of taking a hatchet to this every weekend. Is that I can just make it start whenever I want.
I can tell the pretzel one again. Can we do the pretzel one again? You want to do the pretzel joke?
Yeah. Welcome back to Reasonable Beef. Do you know how many times you've done that?
Nuh-uh.
At most 57.
How can I have done that? It's a new song I just made up just now. Don't be stupid. It's the new Beef theme song. I've been working on it. And here's this other one. I'm just kidding.
You do raise an interesting artistic point. At what point does instrumentation carry into a piece's creation?
And that's what this episode is about.
Here we are, everyone. When you sing your favorite movie songs into a mug.
Yes.
Now, Your Honor, does Mr. Williams have copyright on
The
cup
bassoon.
sound?
The bassoon.
I'm sure there's bassoon in the Star Wars theme
There's
song.
bassoon in all of them.
Yeah.
There's a little bassoon in everyone.
There's a lot of bassoon in me.
Yeah, it's excuse me.
For those of you at home
It's a
listening.
wacky ass episode.
That was Tim miming pulling a bassoon out of his, I think, butthole? Was it butthole or was it
My
mouth?
mouth.
Oh, okay.
This is a family show.
I think it was butthole.
Hey,
The
so
Oscars.
We're
Yes, let's
prestigious
talk about
time.
the Oscars.
Everyone's favorite season of the year.
glitz, glamour, highbrow films receive their due reward in this Oscar season. It's 2018, which means that we're covering the 2017 films. Oscar predictions. I want to know your predictions. Who cares about your Oscar predictions?
We know the best picture nominees. Let's read them off. Get out. I'm serious. Go.
Oh, gracious. All right, so we're talking about Call Me By Your Name, The Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Get Out, Lady Bird,
What are you doing?
which is the sequel to the 2013 classic Bird.
Come on.
Phantom Thread, The Post, The Shape of Water, and 3 billboards outside of Ebbings, Missouri. Ebbing, Missouri. Not Ebbings. How many of these have you guys seen?
I have seen every single one except Call Me By Your Name.
Wow. Why didn't you see Call Me By Your Name?
Because I'm a homophobe.
That's what I was going to say. Because it's the gay one. You know,
I honestly,
I avoided it at all costs. I don't want any weird feelings. Okay.
I intend to see it before Sunday, but yeah. Do you know what's interesting is I know it's been hyped up in some like there's sort of certain pockets of friends who have been very excited about it, but a lot of people whose creative taste I tend to align with have enjoyed it, but aren't as excited by it. And for me, that has sort of dampened my like, I need to see it.
I mean, I also haven't seen this one, but the word on the street that I've heard is that it's very queer baiting. I've heard from quite a few of my gay friends that it doesn't quite capture the gay. It's just very much the romantic notion of two handsome rich boys being in love.
Yeah, because one of the things a lot of people talk about is that apparently what makes it different or special is the fact that it's a gay love story, but it's not really about oppression or anything horrible happening,
right?
Which obviously I think just in general I'm obviously all for that. I thought that was kind of one of the things
Oppression,
people,
yeah.
I'm so pro oppression.
No,
but I think with Carol 2 years ago or a year ago, that was a movie where everyone was excited because again it was a love story between two women and it wasn't exclusively about them being prejudiced against, and it was sort of just they get to just have a love story. But at the same time there is maybe that thing that then happens as well when last year's to be super reductive, last year's gay movie was about this young black kid
Cute
who
couple and they were singing and dancing. It was stupid.
well, this young black kid
true.
lives in a tough community, can't be gay there, etc. It has all these like larger implications, and then maybe it's hard to get as hyped up for two middle class white people who live in a beautiful place.
Just purely politically, it's not as in vogue.
Yeah, and that's not me saying that there's inherently a a superiority to either of those. But I think in terms of like the
excitement
word,
the
word in vogue is probably a good way to a good way to say it, because are people going to be as
Sure.
It's funny. I think all the movies that I haven't seen, at least in the Best Picture ones. What haven't I seen? I haven't seen Three Billboards. I haven't seen Call Me by Your Name and Darkest Hour. And I feel like they're the ones that are all what you said about how people are talking about them. Where all I'm hearing are like, go.
Sure.
Like, and that's kind of like, right. I'm not hearing like, nah, dude, it was fucking great. Like, it's basically everyone. And maybe because it's just me personally, like, I don't know if people are seeing those movies and then being like, oh, Dom will specifically love this, but I feel like I'm fine. This is interesting. I'm feeling, as of tonight, which luckily we only have a week until the Oscars, but I've been feeling this like pull away from the need to see everything.
Yes.
And because I really, for some reason, it just struck me before we started recording, like, why do I feel like I have to do that?
Yeah.
What if I just didn't, like, they didn't speak to me? I wasn't.
Yeah.
If that was just out, would I have gone? If it was just a movie that was out?
Sure, but I
maybe
guess what you're talking about is intellectual curiosity versus like personal enjoyment, which I
Sure.
think to find a healthy balance of that is to enjoy a hobby, right? So that's you need that healthy balance there to just say like, you know what? I'm just not going to see Lady Bird. I know it's 80 minutes. I just, I'm just not going to fucking...
Low commitment.
I'm going to go play Game Boy instead. That's what I want to do with my time.
It's just interesting. I mean, and obviously I get it, because there's also the part, it's you're watching a competition. It's like, so to speak, you want to see all the pieces so that when something wins, you can scream about it, and when something loses, you can scream about that. Everyone wants to scream, and I understand that.
That's what the Oscars is all about.
Well, it's like I scream, you scream, we all scream.
Well, it does also bring up that point that a lot of people, every time Oscar season comes around, especially lately, there is also a conversation about, I think that's the disconnect for some people with the increasingly lower ratings of the Oscars. I mean, they're still getting tons of ratings.
Sure,
they're still getting tons of viewers, but there is something about, a lot of these films don't have a particularly passionate following behind them, because they speak to very specific like pockets of people,
right?
And if you're just an average person who considers themselves a movie fan, like, you've probably seen Dunkirk, you've probably seen Get Out, and then you're already getting into the territory of did you go find a theater to see Darkest Hour in? Did you go find a
right?
I think Shape of Water is probably another catcher.
Yep.
Yeah, for normies. I know a lot of people you wouldn't expect, like, older aunts and such.
Yeah, and weirdly, Joseph Stalin. He showed up.
He was there.
What was weird was that he's dead. I don't know how he did it. Really, people you wouldn't expect were there. I'm sorry.
Why Stalin?
I don't know.
Joseph Stalin?
I don't know. I think his name's funny.
Sure, you could have picked anyone who was alive.
I don't know. Fucking Guggenheim. Okay, what do you want from me?
Mark Guggenheim?
No, the guy. He's got the place. He's got the museum.
I'm gonna save you from this fate. We're gonna move on.
Do we have any we're excited about?
Yeah, not particularly. I mean, I think
I have about two.
I really love The Shape of Water, and
same.
I think conceptually from the get-go, when they announced it, I was like, I'm going to buy tickets out. I'm going to go see that. Like, no matter what it was.
Yeah.
And nothing else on this list speaks to me like that. So that's just my personal.
Yeah. I think if Shape of Water were to take away a lot on Oscar night, I would be happy for it.
Sure.
I think I would be
walking out with a bunch of chairs. The installation's got the curtains.
But for instance, when
That's a hell of a producer.
When Guillermo del Toro won the Golden Globe, I was like, cool. I was like, I hope this is good.
Yeah.
Like, it's interesting because I have a few. Definitely enjoyed a lot of them, but I think I would say I personally really did like Three Billboards. I saw it twice. I like Get Out, and I like Shape of Water. I think those are sort of the ones that I'm.
How'd you feel about Seven Psychopaths in Bruges?
Really like In Bruges. Only have seen Seven Psychopaths once. Enjoyed it when I saw it, though I've heard some thoughtful critiques of it.
Yes, our very own Nick Oldershaw says it's the worst movie he's ever seen.
But I think largely I like McDonough's work, and it's interesting because, again, I would say with Three Billboards, I really enjoyed it to the point that I felt like I could see it a second time. Again, I've read some very thoughtful and intelligent, like criticisms of it. I don't know if I agree with all of them, but I think I can see why people take against it.
I've heard these rumblings about sort of just the way it handles race, and sort of one of the main characters is a racist, and they sort of don't slap him down for that, which I get. That's right. I
always felt, for me, the thing that I struggled with in the sort of popular criticism of it was that I don't think the text of the movie. Everyone keeps using the word that they redeem him, and I would argue that the movie doesn't. Mm-hmm. I don't think anything about what the movie's telling you is saying this is fine.
Right.
But I understand that, you know, it's a story in a way about him, and he gets layered and nuance, and you know. So again, it's one of those things where I can see the criticism. I've just always read, when I read the sort of simplified version of that headline where they go, they redeem a racist character. I'm like, no, they don't. He doesn't get redeemed for his racism. He doesn't get, the movie doesn't say this guy's all right.
And you're playing a frustrating game where the main characters of films need to be heroes or in any way heroic, or that a story can't be about somebody with big flaws like that, and have it not be just like a celebration of them.
Yes, and it also does bring up the larger thing, which I think is a more valid criticism of. And again, you jump into a whole other can of worms with this, but you know, there's a valid criticism in, hey, it's a story that mentions racism, but again tells the story from the perspective of various white characters, and maybe, you know,
it's like, hey, look, this is Missouri, there's going to be racism here, it's just like a part of this landscape.
And so, you know, there's that conversation about, well, should that mean that there are more stories told from African American perspectives, etc.? But then that brings up the question of, well, should, in that case, probably Martin McDonagh shouldn't be the person to tell that story, because then he's, you know, a white outsider coming to tell, etc. So there's always that thing of, you know, I don't know. I think some of that stuff gets very lofty and complicated to, like, you know, because you're talking about such big different things. You're talking about the larger trend of telling white stories.
Well, look, Louis C.K. directed Pootie Tang, so I don't know why a white guy can't have
with that precedent.
Vision. Yeah, I mean, you know, Louis C.K. is actually Mexican. I didn't know that. He's
super Mexican.
From Mexico. Yeah. Wild.
Crazy.
Can I say Louis C.K.'s name yet?
No. Don't be weird. No.
Is that okay?
Don't be
None
weird.
in this climate, Tim.
Don't be weird, man. We got Tim over here celebrating racists. Tim over here
celebrating racists, refusing to see "Call Me by Your Name" because he's a homophobe.
Can't believe this.
Unbelievable.
I think the strongest about Get Out, in the sense of, like, I really am. I'm having this was an interesting few, let alone the year, but just like, when did Get Out come out? Well, it was like October, September, or something.
February,
right? So,
yeah, it was early.
Oh my God,
really early in the year. It's really remarkable that it's part of the Oscar conversation.
That's because I didn't see it till it was the end of the year.
That was like a rumbly movie where it just like kept going and kept building throughout
the
year.
Wild.
Because I remember when it came out.
It's a cult film, not is what that's called, not a rumbly movie.
It's one of the
no one calls it that.
It's a rumbly tumbly moving motion picture.
But I remember when everyone was saying, oh, this is definitely going to be you know, they're going to try and push it for the Oscars. I remember thinking, good luck in that it was
so early.
Yeah, because it's so hard to keep up that momentum, and it's great that it has, like, because it is a great film.
And those are those things too that, like, are inspiring me just in the particular kind of stuff that I want to do, is because that's this movie that is, because this is him, you know, full in his mission statement saying he wanted to please horror movie fans and making kind of like old school kind of thriller horror movie thing, and then anybody else, obviously he was up to a lot more, like, socially, and that stuff is fascinating to me, that and I think that's part of why it maintained its rumbliness, was because it was like sticking around on the internet as also this fun thing to talk about, and it was like easy to, it's weird to say this about because of what it was up to, but it's an easy movie to watch. I mean, it's easy to digest. He wanted to entertain you. Right. It was supposed to be a fun, like a movie that's scary and exciting to watch every fucking scene. And I don't know, that to me, I feel like that makes it more exciting. Its prospect of winning things is a little more exciting to me, because I feel like, what are the other ones again? So like 3 Billboards, like I'm sure I'm sure it's good. I know it's good. It wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't good. I wouldn't have been hearing so much stuff about it if it wasn't good. But there's something about the sheer setup of the texture of the way it looks, what I know it's about. I'm a little bored. Like I don't know, something about it. I'm like, I kind of been there. I've been around there before, and that's maybe not, I haven't seen it, but like, do you know what I mean?
I love smart Americana.
Darkest Hour, you know, I don't know. I've been there.
Yeah.
Like,
Sure. I mean, and you want to talk politically, talk about Winston Churchill, the celebration of Winston Churchill, a guy who like on record has said stuff like, I don't feel bad about colonialism because it's normal for superior races to conquer other places.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then you have this movie that lionizes him. He's like, this great leader. I guess the thing is,
which again
things
is
like that are always good if they don't shy away from, I guess, the faults of the
that's almost exactly what's missing where
because he did save fucking England.
Well, it's that thing, isn't it? It's exactly that where, you know, and it's strange because movies don't often exist that manage to do both, but you should, it's a much more uncomfortable movie in a way, but would be a richer movie experience if you were able to say, hey, this guy and this personality and everything accomplished all these things, all these great things that
right.
But also that exact same person said this about colonialism. I think it's that thing exactly where...
But I think a lot of people take that message and go like, well, he's racist and he can do stuff. Why not me? Or maybe that's the fear that people will walk away with that.
it was weird how you just used your normal off-mic voice for that.
That's true.
That's strange. I don't know why you did that.
Gee, missed it. Taxes again.
Well, because for me, the thing is that I keep coming back to, though, is everyone always talks about how, you know, oh, the Oscars don't matter because it doesn't matter. It doesn't really reflect the best movie, etc. And I always go, well, obviously, because movies are
totally.
such a diverse, you know, and every year I always find it in a way silly that we award a best picture when you've got, you know, Lady Bird, wonderful coming of age story going up against Shape of Water. Are not both those movies accomplishing what they set out to do very well?
Right, of course.
So it's very hard to, you know.
But at the end of the day, the Academy is voting which one they like the best.
Yes.
That's all it is.
But I think so what I always come back to is I enjoy the nominees process almost more than who winds up winning, because I enjoy sort of going, oh, cool, look at all these various cool movies getting, you know, the year I come back to, I feel like the year that I always think back to of the Oscars that I became very engaged with it was the year of The Social Network, because it went up against King's Speech, Black Swan, Toy Story 3, Inception. They were all in the lineup.
What year was that?
2010. Or those movies came out in 2010, so it might have been 2011.
Right.
But I remember that year, you know, it was such a strange thing of, I mean, my pick was Social Network, but if Inception had won, I would have been
right.
Okay, of course, it's a great movie, or Black Swan, or you know. In fact, I think King's Speech. The one thing that didn't help that movie was that I largely thought it was good, but then I became annoyed that all these, in my opinion, better movies. Did. But again, that's strange to say of a movie that is perfectly nice. It's a really, you know. So it's this strange thing where.
But it's not sports. You have to remember that it is just...
a bunch of people made some art, and then some other artists were like, we like this one.
Sure. What's the first Oscars you remember that you were invested in?
Oh, that I was invested in?
Or that you just gave a shit about, or like were even noticing?
I watched it every year for a while. I think my mom always watched it. So it's like, I was always aware. I always would like pay attention when it was on.
Sure.
That's a weird question. Yeah, I'm not sure, man. Because I feel like even in high school, I wasn't particularly... in yet. Like I think that year might have been the one with Inception and all that. That might have been the first time I really
2010
was in, because it was like we just got into college.
Yeah. I remember it as being at uni.
Yeah, I think it might be that one, man.
Mine was 2006.
What?
Because I guess just trying to be an adult as a teenager, paying attention. 2006 was the year with Brokeback Mountain and Crash. There was that big controversy of Crash winning over Brokeback Mountain, which was a fantastic movie that came out that year. It was also Munich, Capote, Good Night, and Good Luck as well. That year. That was just a very memorable.
Interesting.
2006 was a good one. So we know you guys could be behind on these things. So in case you haven't caught up, we can go back to 2017's Best Picture nominees.
Why?
Because I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting to talk about, just because
Some-
reflecting.
Get ready for this Sunday for all the mixing up La La Land Moonlight jokes. There's going to be a lot of things about envelopes. There's going to be a lot of the stand-up routines are going to be about envelopes being messed up.
Oh no!
Yeah, I don't want to
Who's
do
hosting this year?
I think it's Kimmel again.
Yeah, it's Jimmy.
Okay.
It's James
Kimmel
Kimmel.
again. So last year, we're a year on.
Okay.
I'm going to go over the Best Picture nominees 2017. Let's see how we feel.
Okay.
We got La La Land,
Ugh.
Arrival,
Oh God.
Lion, Hell or High Water, Hidden Figures, Moonlight, Hacksaw Ridge, Manchester by the Sea, and Fences.
I'm joking. Why is no one doing anything? Those were a lot. I forgot about that.
There was a lot
There's
last year.
a fucking lot.
And what ended up winning this one?
Moonlight won Best Picture.
Right. So Moonlight ended up walking away with this. I feel like, that's probably
sense.
correct. Like I think I have seen almost all of these by now at this point.
Yep. I saw all of those that year. I'd seen every nominee.
I hadn't. I don't think I ever have. I don't think I ever will.
I refuse.
No, I don't refuse. You know, it's like there's gonna be a year where it makes perfect
No,
sense.
but I do agree with you though that it's a strange thing of yes, you should, like intellectual
course.
exercise. It's fun to see everything. At the same time, I'm trying to go easier on myself with the if you don't want to, just,
Right.
fine.
Yeah,
You know,
man.
There's Lego Batman nominated. I don't care. I liked Lego Batman.
I mean,
that
that's
was 6
strange-
years ago.
That's strange.
Yeah, well, is it nominated yet?
That was the strange controversy this year with the nominees, wasn't it? That Lego Batman did not get nominated, but The Boss Baby did.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
The Oscar-nominated Boss
Let's
Baby.
talk about that for a
That's
hot minute.
disgusting.
I haven't seen Boss Baby.
That is truly disgusting that happened. I don't know, man.
Well, because they also
snubbed.
snubbed the Lego movie that
Yeah.
year when it came out.
Well.
Like it didn't get nominated.
I wonder if there's something to do with branding. Like because it is like a branded thing, they might look down on it a little bit.
Yeah,
Maybe.
and I guess how a strange thing of how hard people push for it and how I think,
yeah, maybe they didn't.
Well, because apparently every time they do send out Transformers. Like I've heard about that. They send it out every year for the major.
Oh, I thought you meant like the rope, like to threaten the different academy.
No, but
Send out the
they send it out
Transformers.
for consideration.
Oh, okay,
And it's interesting because it's
For like special effects and shit. Yeah.
yeah.
But one day,
One day it's gonna win.
Best Picture, Transformers 11. That the hard punch, the big punch.
But yeah, I mean, coming in with, I agree that year. It's interesting because I felt about La La Land, Moonlight, and in the very similar to the way I felt about Birdman, Whiplash, or where I just
My favorite biker.
like Birdman, Whiplash.
Almost that guy.
No, but I remember it's always interesting when you're choosing between two movies and you did enjoy both of them and you think they're both great, so you go cool. It's an interesting one where I wasn't mad when
No.
they when I was just cool, great, Moonlight's great.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think it's just the night. We're doing this at a particular moment where I'm feeling like it's just so blasé. Like, I don't know. I'm a little bit in that camp right now of the like.
Who cares about
this
the
is
Oscars?
all bullshit.
I mean, it is all bullshit. Of course it is.
But it's funny because I like last year and I make this point all the time to people because usually when someone takes that hardcore stance of like fuck it doesn't matter, like as you were saying, oh, it doesn't prove anything anyway. I'm like, yeah, but it's nice to get a
What a
trophy.
Tim impression.
That wasn't what I was doing.
It's not nice.
No, but it's I agree, and also it's also in the same way that I think it's also strange because you don't want to take away from, like you said, the fact that it is nice, and also
Yeah, of course.
and also the sometimes it's also strange when, and this is a very roundabout way to make this point, but it's now that we're getting the first female DP nominated, etc. Now is not like there's a part of me that goes, you can't now go, oh, it doesn't matter anyway.
No, that stuff's all great.
It's like we're getting more diversity, more women and
Yeah,
everything. You
yeah.
can't now choose to, in the same way that people, again, I'm not saying that people are like consciously doing this, but there was even an interesting thing of, oh, now that Black Panther is the big Marvel movie. Now you're choosing to be cynical about the Disney Corporation.
Sure.
So sort of in that, you know, I'm like,
I feel that.
it's interesting where people draw the line sometimes.
I almost feel like, and this is like been the through line of this, and it sounds maybe like over dramatic, or I don't know, maybe this is exactly the reaction I'm supposed to be having as like an audience member right now. But there's something about the fact that I have in the last few months been watching so many movies with different about characters I haven't seen before, and it's set in places I haven't seen before, and I'm just feeling this hunger of like, and it's me as a writer, I'm having this weird identity crisis of like, yeah, why the fuck would I want to just do things that are a spin on things you've seen before? Like, isn't it more exciting to do? And it's funny that like, I think in me being exposed to these new voices and new stories that I wouldn't have seen otherwise, that's what's almost making me have this like, oh, well, fuck all this. Like, I don't care about the awards and stuff. I just want to see weird new things again. Like, because I'm excited. Like, I thought we did it all. I thought we were done.
Yeah. No, we didn't.
No, we didn't. Not even a little bit.
There's plenty.
That's true.
That sounds stupid.
No, that's not at all.
Yeah.
No,
I know what you're saying.
But you know what I'm
it's
getting
also
at, right?
true. It is true, though. I think that's what's strange is I think that isn't emphasized enough. Actually, sort of, I think in our sort of left wing bubble, you sometimes get a lot of sort of it's diverse, and that's why it's great that this is successful, and actually not praising enough that the diversity goes hand in hand with creativity and originality when done well.
Yeah.
Like for instance, yes, like Black Panther, Wonder Woman, Coco, for various reasons, because they either embrace a heritage or really lean into a different genre or feature different protagonists, or you know, in superhero movie fronted comfortably by like a big budget superhero movie fronted by a woman or a majority African American cast.
Right.
And you go, yeah, it does feel different. Like it is something you're not seeing. It's something you're not seeing,
because it totally is. It's just those things on the corners though of the like you can feel again you can feel the mind behind it, and you're like, now I know this is like I'm seeing a different thing. I don't know exactly how you can quantify it, because I don't think you can, and I think that's also kind of the point. Is like it's just that's a thing we haven't seen. It's a viewpoint I have never really been exposed to in this. On the big empathy machine, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where I'm like, oh fuck, and that's such a weird. I know that's but that's also. I don't think it needs to be negative either, because as you're saying too about the Disney thing, and like that's the symptom of people's minds changing and becoming more open to watching this thing on these kinds of stories that you, for what you know, that different meant bad or whatever, and now everyone's like embracing it, and then that's. I don't know. So it's like Disney paying attention to it, or are these studios giving more money to stuff like that that's fronted by people they haven't been given movies to before. That you can just look at that as a beautiful reaction to something bigger that's switching.
I
you know
agree,
what I mean?
because people sometimes, like, I think sometimes with the, you know, yes, we live in clickbait headline culture, and people want to, there's a lot of short-term memory. There's a lot of this is the first this, but actually if you go back, you know, there's actually other examples of it. Having said that, I did actually, like, you know, when I was watching Black Panther, I do remember having a moment of realizing every time we were cutting back to like a different character doing something else as part of the traditional superhero climax, where we're cutting to this character in the meantime who has to deactivate this thing or has to, and I did have a moment realizing, yeah, it's true. I've seen movies with majority African American cast before, but I have not seen it in a movie like this.
Exactly.
I have not seen it in a giant multi-million-dollar blockbuster. I'm not used to every time it cuts to a new character, that character also being black. Like, and I sort of, that's a good example of something where again, I think that's why I choose to sort of not be too cynical about the sort of celebratory headlines, because I sort of go, yeah, it is different.
That's also that weird thing. Like this conversation I know is hopefully, again, it was like, I could just hope if listening to this, it's being taken with the optimistic tone, because like what's happening is more like this eye-opener. At least I'm having this reaction where it's like, it's just that thing of you didn't know something, or I didn't realize I wasn't seeing something until I saw it, and then you're like, oh fuck.
Well, the way I always come back to this, and it's again, maybe it's that larger thing, but when people say, sometimes the argument you always hear against, you know, for instance, there's a part Oscar so white, push for more diversity, push for more women, and people go, shouldn't just the best movie be nominated? And I go, there's no such thing. Inherently,
right. Exactly.
It's an artificial process anyway, where we give trophies to our peers.
Right.
So
right.
It's okay to artificially make it diverse and representative.
That weird thing of like people assuming a thing will happen without a decision or without an active.
Yeah,
right.
It's the pull the switch.
It'll
track
happen.
kind of thing.
It's like no,
it's literally
those are the kind of people who think that the reason we don't have as many female directors is because just women don't want to do it as much. There's just less of them. Like, and it's like. No, like if you go to film school, you know.
Oh yeah,
it's that whole thing of you know,
absolutely.
It's a very complacent way to live, sort of just going, you know, shouldn't it just be the best movie?
Well, what they're talking about is at the high level, and I think that just like if anybody has struggled to get at that high enough level, like a lot of people will bottom out. Like if it's just you're not getting any opportunities, like the reason you don't see a lot of female directors is because a lot of them fucking quit.
Yep.
So I mean, I wanted to bring up the point too of like just to like in full like understanding and being aware of again how this conversation can sound with us three white dudes saying it is like
so we were the good ones.
So beautiful, like so blessed to have never even had to think about these things.
Oh yeah,
like,
dude, it rocked.
Like. That's not quite what I was
loved
getting.
it.
It's not quite the angle I was
just
gonna
fucking
pick.
laugh at mean jokes. It was great, dude.
Recently, I was driving. We were driving up to the Grove, and Netflix were doing a big celebration of the fact that first African American screenwriter, second African American screenwriter ever nominated for Best Adapted, and first female DP, and. Sort of, and like Monse and I had this strange we were simultaneously great that Netflix is pushing it. I know it's just a publicity push and everything, but
right.
Great that they're like celebrating this. And then you tie that hand in hand with the reaction of it is kind of outrageous that this is after like 90 years or however long they've been doing the Oscars, the first female DP, and you sort of go, I mean that's
what you would think
if
you said that to somebody in like the 70s, they'd be like, oh fuck, really? 40 more years?
Yeah.
Sick. Strap in, here we go.
Well, it's that thing, right, where again it's the same as with the diversity push, that as good as it is, there is always that thing of this year it's not as much of an outrage because there are African American nominees, but then you still have that thing, there's no Asian nominees, like, or there's no, you know. So it's that thing where you always have to remind yourself, we still have a way to go. At the same time, maybe don't always try and feed the outrage machine, but it's that strange thing of not being complacent.
There's not a way to win that conversation either, because there's part you want to be like, can we not just like that a good thing's happening?
Yeah.
And it's like, but you also don't.
But you don't
want to shut down the idea that there should be more good things happening.
Absolutely. And I think if we can expand the industry, there's more room for everybody, right? If more diverse voices, if we can make more fucking money, keep this whole machine running, right?
Again, I hope this
isn't how great it is to be blindly racist again. Yeah. That shit felt so.
Jesus Christ!
No. Like I really think about it.
You're
sometimes.
Gonna have to edit this one.
I wish that I was stupid.
He's not gonna do that.
I really wish that I was stupid enough to be racist. I truly do wish I could be that blind and just like believe. Like I hate that I need to empathize with people. It sucks. You know how much like emotional toil I have to go through, just like waking up and be like, "Fuck, I'm white." Fuck.
Yeah.
Every day.
Sucks, right?
It sucks. Just like what happened today? Nothing. Nothing happened. Everything was fine.
Exciting.
That's the problem. I slam my door.
Yes, the classic.
I sulk in my room.
The classic like. Why does anybody ever mean to me? The classic burden. This is boring.
True.
You know what's funny is like honestly you're putting
good bits.
You're putting such an upsetting like angle on it. But what I was about to say was, and it's because again. Completely a good thing is I'm feeling this fire under my butt of like, hang on, I'm an old story. You've seen me. I've been all over the place for the last 50 years. It's let alone the kinds of, yes, I'm not going to like,
what the fuck was that?
I was starting. Leave me alone.
I know exactly what you're saying, but I don't want you to get pessimistic.
No, it's not. This isn't pessimistic. This is it's only a good thing.
Okay.
Because like, why would I ever want to stop worrying that I'm boring?
Right.
Like I want to always be like, wait, no, there's got to be something more interesting about that you can do that's a little different than a thing we've seen before.
Right.
Yep.
Because it's like already, again, this is also just talking about my aspirations as making movies. Like he did it. Spielberg, he happened.
Yeah.
He figured it out. I'm like excited to feel like, oh, I need to like, it can't be easy. Why would I want anything to be easy? Why would I want it to be? Why would I want to tell stories we've seen before?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sure. Yep.
What about the Oscars?
This is all part of it.
No, I agree. I kind of like where this conversation.
That sounds stupid.
I like where this conversation has gone. I genuinely have.
But otherwise, I don't know how I feel. I don't feel like I have anyone I'm particularly like hard rooting for.
Sure.
You know what I mean? With the exception of maybe Get Out, I think that one I'm the most like excited about, and Shape of Water.
So
like,
sure. Get Out it is then. So what do you guys think? What do you actually think is going to
win Best Picture?
Yeah.
I think I have my money on Shape of Water.
Yeah.
Because it is, it's kind of objectively, very much an autorial piece. It's well made. The filmmaking's good in it, and I think I can't imagine it like sending too many people the wrong way.
Right.
It's just a good movie.
I think that one's. I don't know. I don't know what I would.
But I don't know. Like I agree. I come into that going, I don't know. I think Shape of Water could take it. Like
I don't know. I think they might even choose Get Out. I really do think. I think that the Buzz campaign has been gigantic, and there's no way that they're not feeling it. Right? There's no way that they're not at least a little bit swayed. Because I don't think any movie has the outpouring that Get Out has.
But that also that interesting, that impossible again to quantify when something has, on the merits of it as a movie is as strong as it is.
Right.
It is strong and it's perfect. It's functional. You feel it. You're laughing. You're having a good time. It's scary. And then also when it has like that weird pop cultural thing happen to it and socially something riding on it, and then you're like, oh, this is like because like you have the people I can hear like the pure movie people being like, yeah, well, it should just be based on what it is as a movie and about what blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, but you can't ignore the outside stuff. That's part of it.
Yeah, you can't end sentences and blah 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 blah. I don't just know what you're saying.
Don't do that, and don't do that stupid voice.
Well,
sorry.
It's that thing where I can see that in that as well. It's managed to keep up the buzz this long, and it hasn't really slowed down. Like there's still excitement for it being,
right.
And it would be cool to see it because I guess the historically the concerns would be it's very genre and commercially successful, which often plays against a movie in the sense that there's this sense of oh, that one. It's made a lot of money, so it doesn't
got
really
an air of accessibility almost. I feel like not necessarily inaccessible films, but kind of filmy films tend to go home with the gold.
But that said, I agree. I wouldn't be surprised if this year, I think the bets are kind of off this year, really, in that I don't know if there's, for instance, Shape of Water, Get Out, 3 Billboards. I don't really see Dunkirk winning. Maybe Call Me by Your Name. You never know but it's interesting because usually, like I would say last year, it was definitely, is it going to be La La Land or Moonlight? That was the question before the Oscars. Whereas we're a week out, and I don't know if there's a movie like that. I think the question is indeed that there was an article today that that Monzo showed me about. Basically, might there be a surprise win for Get Out? So that's the one sort of question on everyone's mind. Ooh, could Get Out do it?
I think so. What if when they open the nominees, they open the envelope and they go, Get Out. It's 3 billboards. That'd be great.
Reasonable beef.
Let's do a phone and 3-headed for the Oscars.
How do we do that?
We'll do Oscars 2018.
Will be. It's like a prediction.
I don't know.
Like a prediction?
Sure, yeah. Oscars and the Best Picture nominee is.
Wait, what?
How about that? And the
You
best
just-
picture, I know. How about we do that one? And the best picture nominee is, and then we have to build something that's a title of a fake movie
Okay.
from predictive text.
If you say so.
Okay.
Oh boy, this is
think
going
this
to be
will work
intense.
out.
I have no idea where this is going. Okay. This is confusing. Okay.
All right.
I think I got it.
All right, I guess
ahead.
I'll kick it off.
Yeah.
And the best picture goes to The Courier Details of My Favorite Thing. It's a fine story about a man and a mailman and their
Good.
best friends.
Copy.
Okay.
Okay.
TimH.
And the Oscar for Best Picture goes to My House and I Can Pick Y'all Off.
Weird how like it went to an action one this year.
Yeah.
It's the next Coen Brothers movie.
Yeah, exactly. It's got a bit of a scary thing going on. Haunted house.
My phone says, and the Oscar for Best Picture goes to A Big Boy in a Big House.
I like that
was
one.
a good one.
All right, we'll do
We're doing 3-headed Oscar predictions.
Yeah, we'll do
Let's
three-
go with let's do as if we've seen it the Oscars already. And this
Okay.
is our review of the whole
cool.
program.
So that's the three-headed critic.
Yes.
Okay,
Well,
yes.
so- okay, cool.
Okay, three-headed critic on the Oscars starting Tim, Dom, me.
Okay. I
was
Thinking
that
there
was
going
to
be
a
Oscar
but
two
times
I
saw
several
guys
run
backstage
and
steal
every
Oscar. Oh hell yeah! That was good. That was canon. That was lore. That one was good.
I was
It's a
really
tight
curious
little
where that
narrative.
one was going.
what was it?
I thought I would
thought
see
it was-
more Oscars. I saw
thinking
a group of guys.
I was thinking there would be
More Oscars.
an Oscar, but I saw several times two guys run backstage and steal all the Oscars.
Yep. That's our review.
Holy shit, that's
You
great.
want to try another one?
I'll start. Me, Tim, Dom.
Okay.
We
Never
going
Two.
forget
about
The
second
time
they
took
every
Oscar.
great
That's the end. All right.
canon.
You're never the sequel forget about the second time.
They took
This is later in the movie. We're gonna.
Like this one doesn't make any sense without the first one.
Oh
So
gosh.
it was weird the first time.
Tim, do you have anything to plug? Anything cool coming out?
I do. I have some cool new videos coming out over the next few months, and probably the most immediate thing, which should be out by the time this podcast is playing, is I have a new comedy sketch on Funny or Die.
Hell yeah.
Um,
What's it called?
It's called How to Get Out of a Speeding Ticket, and it features Mr. Dom Farah.
Woo!
And we did some writing punch-ups for it here in our little...
We did. It was a lot of fun.
At this table.
I'm really happy how that one turned out. That was really cool. I liked it a lot.
So yeah, check
fucking
that out on Funny or Die.
Watch it and hit
Check it
refresh
out.
a couple
And-
times.
Yeah, and click funny. Please don't make us die.
Yeah, no.
Because they like that's the contract. So
they follow
They
up.
send people.
That's true.
See, the secret is you click or, they don't know what the fuck to do.
And like, shit,
They
I
get
guess-
that report and it just fucking explodes their fax machine.
give him breakfast. Fuck, I don't know.
Weird.
Anyway,
Dom, do you have anything cool?
yeah, I got a new song out. It was
Oh,
the
yeah?
first song I've been talking a while about wanting to put, sing a real one of my songs.
Is it an actual song?
It's an actual song.
Good. Is
And
it good?
it's you tell me, pal.
I'll listen to it.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, where can you find that?
That's on that YouTube.
Great. Sounds good. And I have nothing. Wait, I have something.
Just not even, I'm not just talking about like digitally.
Yes, no,
like,
that's not anything coming up.
I have nothing. I have lost everything.
Please go to www.patreon.com/reasonablebeef and fill that empty hole in my soul with funds. $1 gives you access to bonus beef. The new one's going out in like 2 days. Same time this episode will go out. I promise. It's got Hazel on it. That's how old it is. It's from about like a month ago.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so we need to cut a new one soon. Thank you so much. Thanks, TimH.
Pleasure as always.
Thank you. Have a wonderful evening, everybody, and happy Oscars. Stop! We can't upload it to YouTube now. Stop it! Cut it out!